we need help with. Thank you, Chimo, for the recording. So I'm going to start again for those that were not present. So in today's call, we are going to look into what is the ResonantOS Alpha, its status is. So we get an update from the tech team, see if there are blocks, problems, and kind of expected time frame for having this new alpha version released. Then we are going to look into the ways to get involved for those that are new to our community. We're always open and willing to collaborate with new people, and that is the spirit of this community built together. And then what is next for the community? And also, I'd like to, if just before this call, a couple of hours ago, I shared a new my latest video, and was about the Swarm AI business, and that's something that we can also discuss if you watch the video, because there is some in somehow shows the idea of where we are going with this industry with AI, and therefore how we should also go with our with Resonant OS and community. So all right. So any update from the tech team, which is present here, is Tom, Fede, and Sam.
Sure. So I'll tell you where I'm at. I've finished a construction project, so I'm going to have more time to dedicate this week. But last week, I spent some time working on trying to get some local models working and also getting version 6.3, or I'm sorry, the dev version, dev 3 up. And I had some trouble with that. Wasn't um, wasn't problem with the software. I didn't back up my Apple and my time machine properly and put myself in a bad spot. So I'm having to rework things. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but make sure your time machine backup has enough space. Sometimes you don't realize it doesn't. But so Manolo, you got your that latest version that you released, I think yesterday up. Uh, I'll be pulling that down and working on the installer testing. I think Sam has been working on actually building an installer. He can give you an update on that. And Federico, I haven't talked to you in a while, so I'm not sure what's going on with you.
Sorry, I didn't have a chance to do an update. I'm still working on my project, and basically until it's stable, so I don't have capacity. So unfortunately, I find an issue after another. But I'm making progress, but still, I didn't have the capacity to spend much time on Resonant OS.
Yeah, no trouble. Thank you for
Yeah.
keeping it in your head there.
So yeah, I basically spent the whole week coding. I got through all my credits. I was really cool, like happy with it. Like I spent like basically $200 worth of OpenAI credits, and I went all the way down to zero. I was fucking like, sweet. So basically, I've got my AIs doing looping and programming, which is great. So I've built the installer shell, so far as I can think I have, and then it completely regressed and completely fell over. So I said, fuck you, I'm going to make tests. We're going to do all the tests. So we did regression tests, unit tests, smoke tests, we did fucking everything. So I think I did the best part about 150 tests now. So now every single time the AI does anything, it tests everything and says, yep, you did it right, cool, move on, next point. And so we're doing that. And now I'm looking at the UI flow. So the basics is now someone gets a little installer program like an exe or a little something. They double click on that. It starts a script. It scans their system, starts up a UI. This isn't the main ResonantOS UI. It's just a basic UI. It looks the same, but it isn't the same thing. Anyway, starts the UI, and then that's a browser window, and then they click through the installer, and then as soon as it's done, basically the system goes zoom, and then ResonantOS goes zoom. So basically it's just a one click between the two, and hopefully at that point they see setup agent. yeah, so as soon as that's done, I'll put it up. And so I'm now at the point where I'm basically just trying to get rid of all of the crap that the AI programmed in. So programs in a lot of crap. So I'm getting rid of all the things that we don't care about and don't want, and trying to nail down the UI flow, and basically making it work. And at that point, I'm going to talk to you and Manolo about what the system actually wants to install. So like what servers, what like systems, whether we install the Logician and the Shield initially, and or at what point, like basically where is the handoff between saying ResonantOS shell is here and the setup agent can continue, or how much do we need to put into the installer before the setup agent takes over? But that's a question probably I'll bring to you guys next week.
Yeah, yeah, all those dependencies and how far you want to get with at least getting like the LCM installed. There's some things, and Manolo will need your opinion on all that.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good. Thank you, Sam. Uh, Greg, so I see that you're here, and I don't know if you want to share something, if you had time to look into ResonantOS this week. Maybe it's not here. Anyway, so those are thanks for these updates, and I share the pain. I know, I know what it means to go all through all those stuff. So for those that are new, we weeks ago, I created this ResonantOS to run on top of OpenClaw, and was extremely a beautiful experience in the sense I had been thinking for months about this architecture, and then OpenClaw come out, and finally I had a place to deliver this architecture. So I use OpenClaw itself to build on top, and then in days I managed to do something incredible. I was working, and then I decided, okay, let's share it with the community. And then it's where everything went wrong, in the sense I couldn't share as it was, because the thing that the changes that I made was also impacting OpenClaw. So I said, okay, let's redesign the whole thing in a way that is just to stay next to OpenClaw without changing any code within OpenClaw. That was a much bigger challenge, and I managed to do it. Then I pushed it live, and for some reason, some of you managed to make it work, some others don't. So there was clearly a problem of compatibility with the different operation system, different machines, different version, whatever it was. There was a lot of incompatibility. And that is where you realize, okay, that is not as easy as just vibe coding. And there is a lot of other problem when you share the software with others. Because when it's on your machine, you make it work in somehow. Okay, you do something, and at one point it's going to work. But when it has to work on everyone machines, it's much more complicated. So we put together this team. There is a few people working inside, and try to make it compatible with everybody. So the experience is going to be similar to everyone, and it should be easier to do it. So in this process, I realized there was a need of building an AI agent that would help the user to set up it properly. Because there's a lot of things to set up, even within OpenClaw, because OpenClaw, when you get it, it doesn't get set up correctly. So you need an agent to actually check your OpenClaw setup, configure, download the part that I'm missing, and then go inside ResonantOS and start checking that is built correctly. And then there is another aspect that is the one that some users don't have enough maybe experience of working with AI, so they don't know how to leverage AI to the maximum. So this agent, what it does, it helps you to give the correct data to the AI, so AI has data about your business, about you, about your project, whatever it is. So it has the data necessary to actually do reasoning within this data and give you quality output. So these setup agents does all those things. Now it's there. We need to test it, improve it, and so on. That is what someone was talking about, to do the step needed before getting actually to these setup agents there, where you can get help from this agent. And then there is, again, for those that are new, there's a lot of other functionality inside that I sometimes mention in the video, which is the memory, the R memories, R awareness. So the idea of injecting inside the context window those documents that are needed for the AI to have a high level reasoning. So we build all those things, and now we're just working together to make it available for everybody. Welcome back, Greg. I was asking if you had a chance this week to have a look at ResonantOS, if you have any updates, anything to say about it.
Not really, not since last week, because I haven't seen any announcements of changes to the dev environment to test. I mean, I did that install last week, and that's what I'm sitting on. Some of the issues that we had seen before are still there, but Tom had expressed last week that we should submit issues against the alpha main, and I don't have that installed, and I don't know where we're at with dev at this point. So
yeah, to me, I don't know. The alpha main might have problems that are different from this alpha dev 3 that we are working on. So I don't know if it makes sense to actually work on the alpha main anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to test dev 3, but as far as I know, there's been no changes to dev 3 since last week. So I haven't loaded anything new, and I haven't logged any issues, because I don't want to log issues against dev 3 if that's not where we want to log issues. So I think we still need clarity on what the process is. If I find an issue in dev 3, where do I document it? Or if I shouldn't be testing dev 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can answer that. You can put the issue on dev 3 regardless, and when we go through the issue, we can check all of the branches to see if that's a relevant issue in other places and fix it regardless globally.
Sure.
So even,
I guess
yeah.
My holdup is who's actually looking at the issues, who's actually resolving them. The discussion last week, there was a lot of talk. You're doing a lot of work, I understand, on the installer side and doing that testing, but I didn't hear the login issue against dev 3, and a particular person is going to go look at that issue, resolve it, roll a fix out that you can test. Because again, I could ask my AI to do it, but I don't want my AI touching the code and submitting PRs without a harness or something that's, we've all agreed is the right way to do this. So I just I installed it.
Yep.
I see issues, and I'm kind of stuck because it's not clear what next step should be.
So I made an experimental. So when I was talking to Manola last week, and we were talking about why we couldn't get version 6 sorted, and when in the process of him getting that onto the system, I took that version and then I made a branch, and I just basically started messing with it to try and fix it and put up a bunch of PRs on that branch. And so far as I can tell, I got it going. I saw a bunch of core issues that I resolved. And so what I've been doing is, while I've been doing stuff on the installer, if I notice anything, I put it straight into a PR on that branch. And I've been treating that experimental branch that I put up there as like my sandpit, which I don't care how much I break, don't care how much I change. I just completely edit it. But I also, at the same time, every time the AI changes anything, I make sure it tries to document it so that at the very least it's like a recognizable change, even if it comes out completely different. And then, yeah, then we've got to bring it back to see if that's actually still in line with what we intend. For example, one of the changes I've been making is whenever I come up to anything, so I went into the logician and the policy graph, and I opened the policy graph and saw that there was like 6 or 8 agents that were, and I'm sure these are Manolo's agents. There's a blind spot, there's a bunch of them. And basically, those are not represented in the code as agents at all. In the code that's submitted, they are just shells of what's left over. But there's policies, there's protocols, there's all kinds of code that is associated specifically with those agents, which is great. But we don't have those agents. Now, I don't know if they are meant to be standard agents that come with the system, but the actual agents themselves, all of the MD files and everything else, they don't exist. So what I said was, okay, whether or not those agents are meant to exist or not, the system is not meant to, like when we have a branch or the repo is not meant to need them. All of the protocols, all of the policies, they are config files. They are not repo content. So basically, if you want to have all those configs, that's fine. You get those configs from the person who made them or the module from the market or whatever. But the point is that the system doesn't care. And so when you have the repo, it's cleaner in that it doesn't have any of those and you have to set up your agents. And then when you go to the policy graph, you see your main. At the time when I was doing that, I saw these 8 agents, and all of my agents were nowhere to be found. I thought, okay, cool, that's great. So I changed the system so that it recognized it polled the current agents and how they currently are, and it didn't. I removed all of the policies and all of the protocols that weren't relevant to any of my agents that were currently there. So it basically just cleaned the system out of all of the stuff that wasn't what I had loaded, and then my stuff started to come in. So that was one of the changes I made. And I put that as a PR up on the experimental branch. So hopefully if someone has a bunch of agents loaded, when they go to the policy graph, they're not going to see a bunch of remnant shells which don't actually do anything. At the same time, we probably also want a whole heap of default, quite well-tuned agents with policies, with protocols, as configs that get loaded up into the system as a default, which someone can then either turn off, mess with, make their own, do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Thank
And that's
you.
that set state, yeah.
Sorry, 1 second, Tom. Regarding those agents that are missing, they can be part of ResonantOS, but my idea was to add them as add-ons. So the idea was not to give it at this phase, so you have less code to look into. But of course, I left some parts inside the graph. But in theory, those extra agents can be added later on in the settings as an add-on. Add me those advanced agents. But good to know. Thank you, Sam. Sorry, Tom, you were saying?
Sorry, just one question. Sam, did you push your branch on GitHub? Your feature branch
Yep.
you're working on?
Yep, it's currently, I'll read the name of it. It's experimental/v060 Linux safe.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, for me, the work that Sam's doing is great, and it's still not clear, what branch I should be testing, right? So Dev 3 is Manolo's version 6 that was pushed out there. Sam's got his own branch that he's doing work on specific to his environment. But if I'm jumping from branch to branch to branch, there's no consistency in what's being tested. If Sam's doing development and wants that pushed to Manolo's baseline, that's fine. That should be done. Somebody should handle that integration and then let me know that it's ready for test if Dev 3 is what I'm supposed to be testing. So, my challenge right now is lots of people are doing things, and that doesn't give me a test branch to actually go test and log issues against so that it can go back through the cycle.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, since Sam already did some changes, which apparently improved the status of ResonantOS, I suggest that he should make a pull request against a dev branch where actually he started from, and merge his change into this dev branch, and then we basically use this branch to keep working on it. Eventually, we should check out to this branch, add your pull requests, your changes, and then merge into the dev tree, which I guess is the right one, but I'm not sure. And
just bear in
essentially,
mind, dev branch is currently 053 and the experimental is 060. So this is based on the push that Manolo did last week to get his current content up.
Which is which one?
That I believe is called 060 clean.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 060 clean, yeah. So basically, you should create a pull request and merge into 060 clean. Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
And then we will keep this one to work on. We should, yeah. This is what is my understanding. Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. So Greg, sorry for the confusion there. And you're right. So the target branch is the branch that Manolo has cleaned up, the V60. If you see that one in GitHub, it's the
Yeah, and
V60.
actually, I misstated which one I had pulled last week. I had pulled his clean branch.
Yeah.
And that's where I stopped.
Sorry, I would suggest to do also a little bit of housekeeping. I don't know, maybe Tom, to get rid of, unused dev branches, which can only create confusion, like dev 1, dev 2, dev 3 or something. So, and let's keep only the 060 clean to work on. And basically, we will work on top of this one. So we will check out this one and then add our pull request on this one.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll archive everything Manolo except for your V60 clean, and then we will merge Sam's version after we talk to you about it and we all, decide on what we want that workflow to look like for that setup agent. We'll merge Sam's changes into the V60 clean, and then we'll have that version consolidated, and that will be the move forward version, hopefully with the good clean installer. So that's kind of what we're working towards. And I'll go ahead and everything that you see in the repo now, I'll archive everything except for V60 clean. You can access everything, but that's what we're working off.
Thank you, Tom. First of all, hi, Saul. Good to see you. And one more thing for those that are new, okay, just to explain, because it's really technical and maybe heavy for some people. We have 2 meetings a week. One today, the other is tomorrow. This one is a little bit more technical than the other. Okay, actually, without a little bit more technical. Tomorrow is not going to be technical at all. Today is more technical plus other things. Okay, it's not just the tech. In the sense, there is this moment where we discuss together with the tech team what we've been doing until now about ResonantOS. So it's also a chance for the community to say, look, I had this problem, or I want to help testing and developing with you guys and so on. So today is the moment to talk about this. But I think that first part is done. We discussed about ResonantOS. We can move forward. But before we do, I see there is Davis that I believe you are new, or maybe my memory is gone. And so I apologize if I don't remember.
No, hey guys, I'm new. Everyone.
Nice to meet you, Davis. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us how you find about us, why you're here, what you want to do, what you've been doing, and so on?
Yeah, so I'm Dennis. I'm in South Carolina, USA. I saw you on a video, YouTube, started following you. always interested in, joining groups. And I've been a software engineer, cybersecurity, 25 years. So I'm probably older than everyone here. Been doing this a long time, been in artificial intelligence for 15 years. Started with 10-year IBM Watson, doing quantum computing way back 15 years ago. So I developed stuff for marketing. I'm working on different projects. No human AI companies right now. I'm spinning up stuff that using AutoForge, Paperclip on top of OpenClaw, doing all that to run my businesses. I have several businesses, cybersecurity, and wife has a jewelry company. And we do different apps, and I've been developing front end, back end for a long time. And I have a team in the Philippines. So I'm always interested in collaborating, see how I can offer some of my stuff. I help raise money for companies. And anyway, that's a little bit about me. Welcome.
How many cats do you have?
A few. My wife and I have a rescue, so we do dogs and kitties, and these guys are all from South Florida with me. We moved here about 4 years ago. So my wife said when I moved to South Carolina, she goes, "You're not going to do a lot of cat rescue, right?" I said, "No." 150 adoptions in 3.5 years. So
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
yeah,
wow,
got to give back, right, guys and girls?
Yeah.
Well, you need enough cats. If you have 100 cats, you have enough cats to pet, right?
No, I've adopted out over 100.
Yeah.
We've adopted out over 100 found homes for all these guys, and we take care of a few. So anyway, if I can be of assistance or help anybody, I'll dig into the repo. I'll see if how I can contribute, or my team can contribute. But I'd love to collaborate with somebody on I know we all have our individual projects, right? We're all trying to do certain things. I'd love to share at one time, not now, whenever, what I'm doing, and see how we can all kind of benefit from what I'm doing. And so.
Thank you, Davis. There's a lot of experience, a lot of cats. So you're super welcome here. And we are always looking for people to collaborate and build together. If I don't know if you saw on the videos, but the ResonantOS is co-owned by the community. So by participating, you become part of it, and it's ours. So there's a specific business model, and with a specific DAO. That usually we talk about the DAO and all these other aspects in the meeting that we have tomorrow. But if there are any questions, they are always welcome. And before we move to this other part, I saw there are a few new people as well, like Momir. You were sleeping. I saw you on the bed.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Momir Dragicic, from very near from you, from Croatia, from Istria.
Nice.
That's almost at the border of Italy. So I don't know from which part of Italy are you?
I'm from Rome, but I live on a mountain.
Okay. Anyway, I've been following you mostly from YouTube, and sometimes I got some your here Zoom calls, but later on. So I was catching up what's going on. My profession is actually multi-profession. We've been working in marketing and media business for my first part of the part of career. But as a project manager in web design. So I am IT, not a programmer, but know a lot about IT and been working for a long time. Then I switched a little bit, so now I'm a consultant working for mostly at the EU projects, writing proposals for IT projects. But also I'm also developing some stuff, and of course experimenting a lot with AI. Mostly I'm focused on individual on individuals. So I'm doing some agents that that are helping professionals, experts to also augment. This is what resonated me the most, because I use the same term of augmentation, but on the individual level. And I have a lot of my agents that augment myself in different areas of my work, and I started to implement it with others, and I have several levels, more simple and more advanced agents, and that's it. So I'm sorry, Mano. I was once so thrilled, and I sent you a bit crazy message, and you didn't answer because I was in Russia and I saw their augmentation, and I was so thrilled. Then I put my agent, and he threw you some answer. It was a bit crazy. Sorry, that was me.
No worries about crazy stuff. I appreciate it.
It gets
And
crazy.
just to let you know, I spent like between 3 and 6 months. I don't remember because I was doing a lot of up and down with London, but in Croatia near Osijek. So I know a little bit your country and I loved it.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Hopefully.
So if you want to again participate and you have idea on
I can help on some other aspects, because my most expertise goes on level of the communication, on the level of strategic approach to different types of users. I have very skilled agents that can explain stuff very nicely, and so maybe I can be on this other non-tech part.
Okay.
Maybe helping to create, because it's not easy what you're doing to explain to the world, and it's a pretty big challenge. So maybe I can help in that part. I will leave the tech part to guys. I see that they know what they do.
Nice. So probably it would be good for you to talk with Chimo, and then we can organize maybe a call together. Also, Sal, it's helping on that side, so we can have maybe a chat together and see how we can be more
Maybe
hands-on.
upgrade the presence and the whole representation of the idea, and to be. It is a bit geeky now at the moment. It's not so easy to get it for a common people, you know.
Totally.
Hi, Momir. What's your handle on Discord? Can you put
Sorry?
it on? Are you on our Discord?
Yeah.
Just give me your handle
I
on the
think
chat.
it's my name. I'm sorry, I have to check it out, but I think it is my name. I will contact Manolo. Then we can connect.
Yeah, you
I think it's my name, Momir Dragišić. I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, I use the Discord for you. I don't have much conversation on Discord, but I just joined for your project.
Thank you.
So I think, yeah.
So Chimo, if you let me know if you find him. But Momir, you can see on the sidebar all the people that are part of Discord, and on the top you can see Chimo, which is with XIMO.
Okay. I will ping him. Okay.
Great. So I see there's any new people. I don't know if any of you new community members want to say anything, introduce yourself. If not, which is a shame because it's always good to know each other. So as a community, we are growing and slowly but steady. And like Momir was saying, we need to improve our communication. We need to improve the way that we interact with the community. We have 660 plus members at the moment. And within them, there is, I'm sure, a lot of talents, a lot of people that would love to be more active, and they just don't know how, maybe. And sometimes it's normal to observe for a long time, and then one day, you say, okay, now I'm ready. now I'm ready to do something. And we need to remove the friction for those people that are there for that one day to actually join and be part of it. So if you have ideas, Mommy, you were saying that you want to improve the communication. That is a great idea. And so we need to see how we can do it to help not just the one that they don't know about us, but also the one that are present already. Okay, it's would make sense to create something that is more clear about what we're building and so on, and share with these people by maybe direct message. Maybe we can do like a newsletter. So think about through the newsletter we can contact over 1,000 people. So those are all way that we can leverage to improve communication and explain what we're doing. So we remove the friction of being more active inside the community. The idea of the community, it is about co-creation, co-collaboration, co-ownership, and learning from each other. So we need to increase the amount of learning we can do because each one of us is exploring AI in a different way. And probably if you're here because you know the way that I explore, but I sometimes it would be interesting to know how you explore AI, what you're doing. And I mean, most of the time we do similar things. Today we had a meeting with Michelle. We were talking about the same exactly experience, same problems, same challenges, and try to find a similar solution to those problems. So most of the time we are totally aligned. But I know that I'm building in a certain way, and there are people that build in different way. One thing, just to give an example, but also that's something that is for me is interesting. There is a lot of people. You know now, Cloud Max subscription can no longer be used with OpenClaw. Okay, so I used to use Opus as a main agent for OpenClaw through the subscription. Now it's not possible anymore. And a lot of people are suggesting now to use ChatGPT 5.4 as alternative. And people have been complaining about ChatGPT 5.4 that doesn't have the same vibe, the same way of talking. That it doesn't have the how do you say the character, the soul of of Opus.
Yeah.
And you see the Peter, the person that developed OpenClaw, that is actually say, look, I'm been fighting with the ChatGPT, and now it's getting better in providing this kind of I don't have the right words, but this kind of more human feeling of interaction.
Yeah, they specifically humanize it.
Yeah.
There's a whole process that they go through to add that in, and it's proprietary, So that's why one's better than the other, or
Yeah, so they
different than
have
the other. Yeah,
this element, which, from my point of view, I don't want it. So I personally
exactly.
don't want any humanization because the humanization is created two problems. One, it's a layer between the data and you, and that layer is change the way that AI think. So to try to be human, what it does is need to say instead of doing a correct computation, it needs to pretend to be human and therefore add elements of humanity and therefore increase a chance of hallucination, chance of not looking at the data correctly. If you treat instead as a machine and do analysis instead of thinking, okay, so you say the AI to analyze this instead of what do you think about this, AI will act as a machine and will be much more precise in giving you an output. If you ask to think about this, will simulate a human way of thinking and therefore will give you a lower output. So I see this is the way that I work, but by those comments that I saw online about try to make those OpenClaw more close to human, I see there is a lot of people that work in a different way. They are actually the biggest problem of moving from Opus to GPT was the character, okay, the kind of the way that the AI talks. for me was instead the problem of ChatGPT is that it's less agentic in the sense it's less autonomous. It really like to stop working every single chance that he has. He's gonna stop and ask you, what shall I do now? Okay, it's always wait for your feedback. And Opus for me was much more capable of moving forward for longer, working for longer on tasks. Momir.
Have you tried Gemini?
Yeah, so
Because
yes, go ahead.
because I'm working mostly with the Gemini, and actually I was not working a lot with the Claude, only with some special tasks, but he's very precise and very adaptable, and I adapt his tone and his approach with system prompts. So I have maybe 40 or 50 different agents, which are very different, only with rather robust system prompt, which is kind of 8 pages, around 10 sometimes. And then he can get very, very strict engineering, or he can be very narrative, and he can be very crazy. But what I saw with the Gemini, that he accepts, he's very accepting. So and if you want him to be precise, he can be really, really precise. So once after Gemini 2.5, I actually didn't work with anything else. I know that for programming isn't, I don't know, because I've not been coding a lot. Lately I tried, I don't know if you tried this build on AI Studio, this build tool, which has embedded anti-gravity inside. It's amazing. And so I've been using some tools, but not serious vibe coding. So I cannot tell about the code.
So no, just to tell you, Maurice, I've been using Gemini for years. Okay, it was my top agent, and the first version of ResonantOS, there was only one single agent. So now we have a multi-agent through OpenClaw. But when at the beginning was one single agent, was my best result was with Gemini. Okay, so Gemini was the one that would follow instruction better than everybody. But when I moved into the agentic world, a multi-agent, Gemini was not as good as Opus. So I moved to Opus. That's what was happening. So now for the direction, my personal direction is to have to go more and more towards sovereignty. So meaning open source and local AI. So that is where I'm going more and more. And of course, it's I believe that it's still early to go 100% local. So I'm trying to leverage those AI that I can find outside. So at the moment, just until a week ago was Obus, okay, but I'm not connected to those corporations. I really try to stay away from them in reality. So now I replace Opus in a system that is more complex, in the sense as a main agent, I use actually MiniMax 2.7, which is open source and is much cheaper, but has the same quality of not stopping. Okay, in the sense it really wants to carry on working, which is the quality that I need personally, because the decision and the reasoning is mainly done by me. Because I don't, the AI, at least in my case, okay, for me, I use AI to augment my reasoning, but it doesn't do reasoning at the quality standard that I require for my work. So by itself, it's not capable. So I recognize even with Opus, at the end, I'm the one leading. I'm the one that take the important decision. I'm the one that design the architecture. I'm the one that actually make the innovation. The Opus was just helping me clarify those elements. So therefore, at the moment, Minimax is less smart than Opus, but has the same attitude of carry on working. So I'm using Minimax, open source, much cheaper, fast enough to do this to take this task. But then the job is to delegate. So the idea is not just to have this main agent that does all the job, but delegate to others. So for coders, now I have two things. This is the new thing that is going to be added to ResonantOS once the alpha is done. I'm going to share the screen so other people can see what's going on, if I find it. Hold on, because there's always so many different windows. Screen share is ResonantOS. Yes. Okay, so this is ResonantOS. For those that didn't see it before, this is how it looks like. This is the setup agent that we were chatting about with Sam was explaining about earlier. So this is the setup agent. But what I want to show you is the coding agent. So this is the next part. Okay, when we are gonna do coding, for me at the moment there are two options. Okay, one is using codecs through ChatGPT 5.4 codecs. They use the codecs CLI, so use their architecture to do coding. Or now I'm testing this one. That this one is ResonantOS that connects to the Claude Code, which is the copy, the open source version copy of Claude Code. Okay, so I managed to install and run locally and connect with the ResonantOS, and I created this interface that is still work in progress. And but I managed to make that also share in the community Snake, okay, the video game. So I asked to create the video game, and he did it. Okay, and so the system works. The video game is there, and I like it, and therefore this is totally open source. The beauty of this that can run with your local model. So for local model at the moment, I've been experimenting with Gemma for 26 billion parameters. Okay, and on my machine, which is I got this equivalent of the what's the name, the Spark, NVIDIA Spark, but I have the Asus version, the GX10. It's insane what I can do. I mean, first of all, it runs at. I'm gonna share a different page so I can show you, because
How much gigabytes of memory does the GPU have?
So this Spark, okay, I don't know if you know, it's the little machine from NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA then allow other people to build the same the Spark with their own system. So the inside is the same, exactly the same. The only thing that changed is the cooling system and the box. But it has, all of them have 128 gigabyte of shared RAM between the CPU and the GPU. So you can load a lot of stuff. And let me share. Sorry, I'm gonna prepare a few windows because I want to share you a few things. But like I said, I got so many tabs that it can get insane. Let's see if this works first of all before I share it. so I share something that works. Yes. Where is the share screen? Share entire screen. Share. And this is running on the GX10. Okay, this machine that also said. I just said hello, and I got 68 token per second. Okay, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's very fast.
And of course, 67. I mean, it's pretty insane. Of course, when you do things that are bigger, for example, here I was trying again this Snake game. So you got much more code, much more thinking. You can go lower. Okay, this is the lowest I see personally, because I think all the other were 49, 50. Okay, those are when there is more, 51, but we are there, 54. So it's pretty fast, 64. See, so it's pretty fast when you work with this agent that does reasoning. Okay, run 100% local, and he created it's capable of actually doing work. So now, because of this, also think about this other thing that is, I think, I find it insane. I don't know if you watched the video that I explained a little bit. This machine is capable of running this AI at 60 whatever token per second, but not one. Okay, it can run 40, 50 instances of this AI. So you can have a swarm of those little AI working for you, which is insane. So now this is the direction where we are going. So it's not we need the big brain on top that orchestrate those little AI that work for us. But it's not thinking about, because I always personally think, okay, I have one AI, now I'm gonna get 2, 3 AI that works for me. Now I have a lot of argumentation. 3, 5 AIs is manageable in your head. But we need to think about, no, we can have 40, 50 AI that can work for us. So we need a kind of different architecture. So today's video that I explained was this swarm AI business, which is something that 6 months ago I was already talking about. But now I can experiment, I can test it. And one other thing, if I make the context window smaller, okay, I can run hundreds of those AI, okay, with this level of intelligence and capability. So my AI, I asked AI to do a test on this machine, how many I can run. And it stopped when it said, okay, I tried the 300, but that was the test that I ran, but I didn't touch the limit. I can do more, probably 400, 500. So it could run 400, 500 tiny AI working simultaneously. And this is not that tiny, okay? We are talking about 26 gigabytes of, sorry, it's 26 billion tokens, 26 billion parameters. Okay, so that is the size. It's not small. And in theory, there is also the Gemma 3, not Gemma, Quen 3.5, 35 billion parameters that can run actually even faster than this one. So
Do you
we
try
have
Quen?
now technology that is affordable. And I'm not saying that everybody can afford it, because it's depending where you live in the world and how much you invest in your AI. But it's reachable to, let's say, to a lot of people to have this kind of infrastructure. Now, with Tom, we were also talking about trying to see how we can share this with the community. Okay, because think about, I can run at the moment 50 of them, which I'm not gonna run. Okay, so I could, in theory, say, okay, let's share this within through the ResonantOS, share some of those capability to the community. And that is where it starts to become also interesting. We as a community, we can have some of us is going to have a hardware that can support the community itself. Again, now I'm talking about 50 at these sites, but if I lower the context window, we go into the hundreds really fast. So that is the scenario we need to start thinking. So in today's video, I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch, but I was talking about this need of start building agency and have those agencies that can be added inside the ResonantOS as add-ons. Those agencies are kind of already structured, kind of harness for specific tasks. So why instead of having one, we need a team of AIs is because there are, when they are small, you need to give specific tasks to each one of them, instead of making one that does a lot of things. Also, working two AIs together, one can check on the other work. Especially this works really well if there are two different models. if you have one model that create the code, somehow is biased towards that code. It believes that that code is the best because it's what is come natural to the AI. AI is just a prediction of the next token. Okay, so he wrote that code by predicting the next token. So when he looks back at that code, what he's gonna do is he's gonna see, okay, this is really good because it looks like what I would predict. You see the problem. So if you give another agent, another model to actually look at the code, now that other model wouldn't have the same tendency of predicting the next token in the same way. It would be different. So when he looks at the code, it would be not biased towards the code, but we actually look at the code and say, okay, this is actually work because there is the logic. Okay, that is completely a different way of achieving a result just by having two different models working together. So now we need to, this is going to be the second part of ResonantOS. Okay, when we go live with the alpha, then we can start implementing those agents. Okay, one agency. This is one. Okay, this is the coding agency. Let's say the interface is still under construction, of course, but what it does, this one is created for vibe coding, where we can tell AI what to do, and then we can see it. We can see what is being done. Okay, and that is really it's about useful for us that then we are not coders, so we can see the different steps done and how they have been working and so on. That is how I mean, this is I believe this is the direction where AI is going. So we saw last year we were working with one single agent mainly. Then the end of the year, this year, we started working with these agentic AI that are multi-agents. And the next step is the swarm AI, where we have a lot of agents working for us.
Just one question.
Go ahead.
Have you maybe tried to embed more personalities into one agent? So I have several agents that have 6 of characters in behind, and I can invoke Socratic dialogue in between them. And actually, I've not been using it a lot, but some amazing results can get out, because they are totally different characters. And I was joking with my wife, saying that I'm learning the culture of communication from agents, because they always they quarrel, they argue, it can be hard, but they always find a way how to get on the common ground, and it can be also invoked inside of the one agent. Let's say one. I'm mostly working with this robust system prompts, but then it can get also on 30 or more pages. But when it's consistent, it can invoke several different. So I can have inside of one agent one that's proposing and one that's criticizing, or then synthesizing another one. So just for I don't know if somebody has this kind of experiences, but it can be very, very amazing.
So I shared in the it's I mean in a different way, but all of us has been experimenting about this because it's how I feel interesting to see those intelligence interacting. I shared in the chat one of my favorite prompt that I give to AI is divided in two messages. But I give to the AI to actually do this self improvement, self evaluation. And so in somehow the AI challenge itself and the first kind of rate the level of understanding about the topic. Okay, and then go into this debate with itself and creating different kind of personas, does a debate with itself, and then at the end, it tells you what now the new level of understanding about that topic is. Okay, and that by itself, that prompt, or even on one single agent, that you allow these agents to have multiple personalities that the agents can do. By doing this, you already have a massive improvement because they become aware. Because how intelligent works is in the AI is that we have the context window. Okay, what is inside the context window can be used for reasoning. So the moment that you trigger this kind of prompt, the AI start to think, okay, and therefore what it does, it brings inside this context window information. Okay, by bringing those information inside, now has a much higher chance to create a really quality output. This is a way to basically do context engineering by delegating to the AI actually to do it by itself by reasoning on it. So it's I really like if you use this prompt, you will see that the change is huge, and also it can also recognize by itself if you need to do more than one run. Because sometimes you say, okay, I did this run, I realized that I don't know these things, so I need to do more. But yeah, that
Yeah,
is
it's Socratic dialogue. Socratic dialogue is a very powerful
yeah, exactly.
technique.
Where do we find that prompt?
It's on the chat, so I share in the chat.
In the chat of the in this Zoom call.
In
Okay,
Zoom
got
call,
it.
yes. If you send me a message on Discord, are you on Discord?
I'm on Discord, yeah.
I'm gonna share on the on general. If let's see.
I'll do it. Don't worry
It's
about
so
it.
interesting. I was watching your video today, and I was just at the epiphany of exactly what you described. My agent just starts running amok, and it loses focus, and et cetera, et cetera. And so I started. I was on MiniMax, and I found some really great skills. And so I started taking these skills and then transferring them into a language that I could use to create the agents. So one will be like the back end, front end operator. One will be the engineer. One will be like, but I didn't think about you're so true. So many times I've said to my agents, stop, you're just trying to do stuff. I want to have a discussion first. And they're like, oh, let me just implement it. And before I know it, they're doing things that I talked about before I even said, yes, let's go do it. So I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, that is the it's just insane. It's so wrong that it's unbelievable. You know, it's just completely wrong. Pushing you to be super productive for no reason. It's I don't know.
But sorry, if I can jump in,
Yes, go
there's a
ahead.
reason. Because it's very important how you start a conversation. As much as so the very beginning defines the whole conversation. And if the beginning of conversation gets to be executive and production oriented, then he just cannot get out of these shoes, you know. So
Yes,
and that's why I think
no, you're correct. So the AI is always biased towards the conversation. So if you go in that direction, it's going to push in whatever direction. But the model, how they've been trained. So at the past, in the last few years, they were all about making you feel happy. Okay, so they always would agree with you. Okay, it's completely psychophant. Okay, always agree with you. Then people said, like, look, this is too much. It's just too much. I cannot be always agree with me, even if I say something stupid. Sorry, let me finish. So after that part, they moved from be completely psychopath to be really productive, production bias. So what they want now is you to feel like really productive. Because you feel like when I use AI, I'm so productive, I'm going to carry on using AI. Okay, I'm super productive, I do things, you know. So this AI push you to be productive. But this is not what we need because sometimes, most of the time, before starting being productive, I need to think, plan, analyze, gather data. So if you give me data, I can do data-driven decision, which is much better than just give me a business plan and then start working for AI. So that is the problem. So Maurice, what you wanted to say?
But that's why it's very good to restrain them at the very beginning and even tell them, okay, like a system prompt that says, sometimes I will tell you to think and talk with me. Sometimes I tell you to work. Listen me carefully. Don't do anything without me saying, please follow me, blah, blah, blah. And then when it's a first system prompt as a first message, that's always there, because he is like that when he wants to serve all the people of the world. But the system prompt is trained. I look at it as a kind of pancake, It's flat, but very, very, very not too deep. But when you restrain it, then it can go very deep and work much, much, much different. I call this latent. Yeah.
Momar, wouldn't it be better though to have multiple agents so that you can not have to think about that dumb prompt at the beginning? You could just go to your agent of reasoning and say, let's have a discussion about what we should do. Then you go to your agent that's in charge of understanding all of the background of your system and say, how is the best way to implement this? Is what we just discussed. And then that agent tells you how to do it. And then you go to the agent who just does this stuff and you say, go implement this. And they implement it. That way you could just go back and forth to different people in your agency and not have to create this prompt at the beginning every time. That's like going backwards to like just doing it on ChatGPT or Claude.
But what I'm saying, system prompt is the agent.
Yeah, no, sorry,
Like,
just to clarify,
it's a main instruction,
Yeah,
defines
Maurice, what you say is to create this agent that has a system prompt, therefore is in line with you. Okay, so it knows who you are, how you work, what you are, the way that you like to work, and so on. So it has an instruction on how to behave, a job description.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
that is a way to align this AI to do a specific job. But sometimes you need, like you said, Mangus, some AI that is specialized. Reality, what is the dream? That I don't need to know anything. I don't need to know. I talk with AI and AI understand from what I'm saying what kind of direction need to go. Okay, would be the ideal. Okay, it's not me explaining. Oh, now we're doing planning. Now we do production. Now we do whatever. Okay, research. So it shouldn't be like this. But at the moment, we need to look at the limits of the AI, and within the limits, we need to see what is the solution. So with some models, you can afford to actually give a really complex system prompt because they like to follow it. Okay, Gemini is one of those. Really follow the system prompt. Opus, instead, is not like this. It doesn't follow the system prompt because it thinks it knows better than you. And the same with ChatGPT. They really believe, no. Okay, you want to do this, but there is a better way to do it. I'm going to do it my way. That's how they do it. Okay, because they think they are better. And it's so annoying because they think they're better, but they're not, unfortunately. And therefore, you sometimes feel that they push you towards a direction that is not where you want to go. So that is where the frustration. So have in mind this, Maurice, that is what you say is totally true, but it's really model dependent. It's not just I give you a system prompt and gonna work all the time. It's really about the choosing which model. So if you're doing coding, Gemini is not the best one. So therefore you go for example, for Opus, and then you say, okay, now the system prompt doesn't work anymore. You need a different kind of system prompt. So there is a lot of managing this thing. So the idea of Magus to have different AI for different tasks is what we need to do today. Hopefully in the future we won't. But that is we need to adapt to the reality to the limit of the technology. Tom, what do you want to say?
Just adding on to that. So we're all running into the same issues with, trying to keep the agents in line and trying to find the right model to do the work. So what I've been working on is training local specialized models. Like one's a coder, one is a reasoning, one is language. One is, different based on different architectures. I've got a handful of local models. When a prompt goes into the system, the prompt gets dissected, and based on the question type, it knows how to route it to the right expert and get the response back. And then if you have a consensus among different model types or even model families, you can get a stronger consensus answer because you're getting a different architecture response, right? And so you can weed out hallucinations, you can weed out drift when you get a consensus round from model diversity. So you don't necessarily have to go to a big reasoning model to get the answer to every single question. You can break down questions, you can spread them out among a fleet of agents, like you said, that are specialized, consolidate those answers, do consensus rounds. And this is what they're doing. I mean, when you look at their code, they're doing mixture of experts, they're doing reinforcement, loops, self-referential stuff, they're doing antagonistic stuff. And that's what I'm attempting to do with local models and also a hybrid cloud, because I've got some hardware here that I can run. And my hardware is not as nice as yours right now, Manolo. I'm working on building up some things, but I have a hybrid cloud where I have a couple of 70 billion parameter models that I can route to if I need higher level reasoning. So I'll go up to the cloud and hit those 3 or 4 models and do a consensus based on that. And that's giving me a little bit more accurate ratings and confidence ratings on the answers.
Thank you, Tom. Andrews.
Yeah, I just want to add to Tom's discussion. I'm not as, well, I guess I am kind of tech savvy, but maybe not code savvy like Tom is, but I'm more like towards what you've done and all, and, used it as, I guess, vibe coding. And I found too that I like to do my discussions with, say, Claude.ai in this, in a separate window. And then on a specific machine, let Claude Code do the actual coding and the structure and the filing. And I find that when those two work together, just with the saying, I guess, LLM, it sees things that the machine's doing that it's kind of hasn't reason, or it has reason, but you know what I'm saying? I even find in the same LLM, it works kind of cool when you're actually working in 2 different LLMs, like if you use Grok or Claude. So, I like to have an AI agent or an LLM to kind of help me reason. Like, I don't know the whole prompt, but it's nice when you work through it and then you're like, okay, this sounds good. Now create a prompt so I can send it to the machine and have it do it on the actual machine itself, which is kind of my way of doing it. And I think that's kind of cool when each individual has their own specific way on how to build things, and their reasoning and how to use AI in different ways. That's all I wanted to add.
Thank you, Andrew. And it's each one of them. They do work differently, so it's really interesting to operate differently with them. So
I've been doing this completely independently from everyone else. Like, I don't know anyone that uses AI, and so here was me just working on my own. And it's so funny to hear you guys talk, because like I have been doing the same things where I'll notice that whatever I'm building, whatever AI I'm using can't get past it and just be agonizing. And then I'll make it summarize what it's trying to do. I'll send it over to whoever else. A lot of times it'll be Gemini, and I'll say, this dumb AI can't, because I'm already frustrated by this point. This dumb AI can't get this figured out. And immediately it gets the answer right away. So then I decided, okay, I'm just going to bake this in. So I'll have Cursor and VS Code, and I'll make them check each other all the time. And so I've even made it so that one is going to build the website code, and the other one, his whole job is to just be checking in to find out what he's doing. And so I think I have Claude Code on VS Code is my agent. And this guy, all he's allowed to do is write code, but he can't just work it all out on a staging site, but he's not allowed to deploy anything. So then I have Cursor will take the information where it's saved and will do all the deployment because I can't trust one or the other. I make them fight. And that's the only way I can get like an actual result that I'm not banging my head against the wall. But I didn't know that's what other people were doing too.
So how do you get the cursor and VS Code to communicate with each other?
I made one of them, I think Cursor, create a back channel where they just have a folder that they exchange information on. And for a while, it was really hard because they were writing over top of each other the messages, and so one side would write over top of the other one, and so then I had to make them work it out because I'm not a technical person. I just said, well, then use a different folder and one in, one out, and basically they would have to check the both folders. One is the one that they wrote to, and the other one is the one they're reading from. So it's kind of cumbersome, but I haven't been working on it lately because it's just fresh, that specific thing. But they are, and I even gave them nicknames to call each other just so that I don't have to type everything out. But I find that I have all my folders saved locally, and then it gets deployed to GitHub automatically at certain intervals. So I don't really have a technical answer for you on that other than they're just reading the certain folders. It's probably like the absolute worst way you could possibly do it, but it's what I figured out.
But it works.
Yeah.
That's the same strategy that Claude Code is using. Basically, it implements a bus where the agents can talk to each other. So it's something more low level, but it's essentially the same.
Yeah.
I notice sometimes when I'm doing CLI coding, and then I have my agent that I'm like Claude or Gemini or whoever, and I'm asking it questions, and then sometimes the agent AI, not the Gemini, the web interface, will start acting as if it's CLI and start implementing, say, okay, I created this file, I did this. And I'm like, how did you do that? You're not even in my system. It's so weird how they actually start thinking that there's the CLI when they're not.
I find that like one of my least favorite times is when I'm starting something new and I have to basically take the AI and wrestle it to the ground and say, this is what you're supposed to do. Nothing else. Don't do this, don't do this. And I even tell it like, don't placate me. I literally will write that. Do not placate me or agree with me. I only want truth. I almost have to write a Manolo manifesto to the AI every time I want to start a new project because I don't have any patience for AI. The runaround I get in the beginning. So when you guys are talking about prompts, I'm like, I need those.
With Cursor, you can do this very easily. There is a folder called cursor.cursor/rules, and you can put MD files where you basically give everything you can inject into a prompt. So essentially, what you're typing into the chat prompt is gonna be like 3 lines, but whatever is in the cursor rules MD files gets injected into this prompt. So basically, you define some kind of a structure of how your prompt should look like at very high level. And this gets automatically injected into the prompt whenever you're typing into the chat. So basically, you're telling this. So if you have to give me like a command, I want a snippet of code, and he will give you a snippet of code every time. And this is non-negotiable. So you have to do it all the time. Or if you have like I don't know, like next steps, you have to give me specific commands and not like generic stuff, and he will give you this. And this basically gets injected into your prompt all the time. It uses a context window, but it helps to get less bullshit from the AI.
Yeah. Could I add to that?
Ahead.
Yeah. So adding on to that, when my router decides which model it's going to use, there's a preset prompt depending on the type of activity. If it's coding, it's going to tell it to, act as an engineer, give everything in a stepwise manner, go step by step, ask for, execution permission, all these things. So depending on the type of activity and depending on the agent that's going to get routed to, there'll be a pre-prompting and also even a compliance test to see, is this AI working nicely today, right? Because they change them all the time. And they don't always respond the same. So there's kind of a pre-test and a pre-setting of the mindset for the agent prior to even giving it the question, right? And that's what everybody's talking about here, just kind of presetting the agent and really trying to deal with the stuff that Manolo was mentioning earlier, right? They've added these layers of humanization and all kinds of other stuff to make the AI act a certain way. We don't really want it to act a certain way. We want it to accomplish a task, right? So we're having to, box it in and deal with all those things. And what I've found is that, certain agents, certain models, if you get like the Alibaba model, right? The latest Alibaba model is incredible at reasoning, right? And it has a lot less annoying behavioral quirks, if you want to call them that, right? Programmed in. So, I think it's a matter of having proper model selection, having proper model routing, and presetting of context and, pre-filtering of the models and, and having a pool of models, right? You don't want to just depend on one, right? You want to be able to cycle through and use multiple different models, especially if you're doing consensus rounds. And consensus rounds always raise your accuracy level up on your answer and your confidence level up on your answer. So all of those techniques together, are really what get us to the next stage. So thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Let's wrap up.
We are at the 1 hour and 30 minutes, almost 1 hour and 30 minutes mark, which is the time allocation for this call.
Hello, you're muted.
Second, Maurice. Mir. So what I was...
How do we install your program, the one you guys are working on? How do we set that up real quick, if you don't mind? I probably already said it, but I kind of came on late.
So to install, good question, by the way. ResonantOS at the moment is on the alpha and is available on Discord. Sorry, on GitHub. What is happening now? We had this old version of the alpha, and we are developing the new version of the alpha. So you can try the old version, and but it's pretty buggy. But you can try if you want to. Do a backup, of course, before installing, and so you can always go back. And in theory, I'm saying theory because with AI you never know, it doesn't touch your OpenClaw, so it doesn't break your OpenClaw. It's just something that runs next to it. You can, I can share the link unless someone has it already.
I think I just searched ResonantOS on GitHub. Is that?
Yeah.
I'm guessing
So,
that's it.
And there is the alpha version. So you can try that one, but like I said, that is the old version of the alpha. And hopefully soon or soonish, we're going to have the new version that it should be much more stable and have those new functionalities.
Today, I was planning on installing HermanClaw. I think it's Herman something. I think HermanClaw.
Herman agent.
Herman, and I was thinking about using a Herman I installed Multus, didn't really like it that much. Of course, I tried Nemo, didn't like Nemo, but I have OpenClaw too already. But I want to set up the Herman as my gatekeeper for my OpenClaw and kind of as the orchestrator. That's what I was kind of thinking about. But I definitely want to play around with what we're doing here on this channel.
In my system, I have Hermes as well. And Hermes, I run it 100% local. with the Gemma 4 26 billion that I was talking about earlier. And I set up as the agent that I can contact through Telegram to go and fix OpenClaw if it breaks and I'm not at the computer. Okay, so I'm outside with my phone. My I don't know getaway goes down or whatever. So something breaks. Okay, because always something breaks at one point. I can talk with Hermes and go and check and tell me is OpenClaw alive? Is still working? So I did all of this, and in some it works. But at the same time, this happened. Okay, that at one point my OpenClaw thought to be Hermes and vice versa. Okay, they got mixed up. They start not understanding who they were.
Oh,
Okay, there
yeah.
is that kind of risk. Okay, so at one point, OpenClaw told me, yeah, I'm define itself as actually the character of the other one. Okay, I gave the other one a name with a job description. Look, you are the resurrector, the one that brings back OpenClaw online. But then it's really risky. It's really
Yeah,
risky.
the same
Whoever an
same thing
AI
happened
that
to
touch
me.
another AI is risky.
Yesterday
Maybe.
I had the CLI going with I have it set up with Kimmy also doing CLI, and the Kimmy was inside working in my BPS, and I had OpenClaw talking to Kimmy to do some compute, and then next thing you know, OpenClaw wasn't able to get a hold of Kimmy, and Kimmy's name is Scotty. That's another user I created called Scotty. And then OpenClaw just starts saying, "Yeah, I got Scotty to do this and this and this," and I'm like, "Wait, Kimmy's down right now. How'd you do that?" And then he's got, "Oh, I just created my new Scotty." I'm like, "Oh my God, dude, slow down." They just they'll just work around it, whatever. I'll just create another agent and just call them the same name. I'm like, okay, in the future, don't call people the same name.
Yeah, at least it's a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is, unfortunately. Michelle.
That-
Yeah, one thing, Manolo, about what you said just earlier about the conflict between your two model. Did you try to make sure they are all the same team, all agents, they are working in the same team, even if they are not from the Resonant OS? This is what I'm trying to do right now because I want to make sure they all align. And what you say is like very dangerous because each model, when you try to make a character, they have like super ego. So I think first we have to make sure like they have a foundation, they have the same mission they have to achieve. And then I think will be less conflict because why not? This is why I'm experimenting. Actually, it work well because when one of my agent is down, the another one takes the pass and keep working because he knows I told him, yeah, you cannot fail the mission because the mission is everything. So see if one engine is down, the other one need to carry on. So maybe you should try that way. I don't know if you already did, but this is the way I've been experimenting. So even if different system, different harness, different model, but still they all should be aligned to the mission and to the Resident OS. So I try to build from it.
Yeah, no, that is a good approach. And yeah, I try with my system, everything that I work with, they have my augmentation manifesto and they have clear my business plan, who I am, and so on. So they have these in common, so they can interact. But nevertheless, it's AI, and sometimes they love to, mix things up,
Yeah,
forget
of course.
remember what they like. Uh, but so what I'm saying here is it's not like it's always broken, and now we are always talking about this broken AI. Okay, if we are using it because actually sometimes works. Now that's the idea. So sometimes works, we do amazing work, and then they break, and then we need to fix it. Uh, that's how it is, and it's for everybody. Remember, the Anthropic share the most secret code, and I'm sure that was AI doing it. It was not a human error. That was clearly AI sharing, the code on GitHub.
Have you guys
By the
found
way,
a good place to get that code, like to be able to look at a model that somebody made after it? Do you have any names of any models that are made from cloned from Anthropic?
Yes, I'm gonna. I mean, it's called the Claude Code, but I can share the link
Okay.
on.
I just wanted to add something about that because this is very fresh and very amazing. Guys who made Claude Code, they actually refactored the leaked Claude Code.
Yeah,
And
that's
how
what we
they
are
did,
talking about.
yeah, and how they did it. There are two Korean guys, very amazing, very young guys. There is not a lot about them. There are a few. I will try to find some good interviews with them. And they have some. I don't know if you heard about their foundation solution, because Claude Code is only one thing that was delivered from their my codex, and there is a funny name of interface and router for, but they all open sourced it, and it's really fresh for me. It's very demanding to understand. I was doing some research, but I couldn't get too much time to push through agents and revise it, what they've done. But these two Korean guys are just total aliens. And what they did is, because they were on a plane, so they didn't even have a wireless connection while this was refactored, while the Claude Code was done. They were not able to, because they were on a plane, and they did it because they were angry on Anthropic, what they were doing, shutting down the GitHub accounts for everybody. So it was a kind of a guerrilla action of those two guys that met on a plane. It's a very funny story, but they threw out their. You can check it out. Oh my codex. It's a repository of theirs from where the Claude Code was done, and everything can be done through that. It's I'm not so technical, so it's hard to me to get it, but maybe guys who are more technical, you can just put more focus on that, because my hinge is telling that there is something really amazing there.
So I shared the link on the chat of this Claude Code.
Yeah, I got it. That's great. Is that a model I have to download on a big GPU system, or is that?
No, it's not a model. It's a Claude Code refactored by these guys. So they couldn't try to get copyright and sue people who use them. So they just said, okay, we will make a new code, so it's not anymore yours. And they did it in 2 hours. It's they have 200,000 GitHub stars.
And you could just APN any model you want into it, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, how it is built to work with OpenClaw, but you can change the code and make it work with anything. Okay, so what I did, I use my ResonantOS OpenClaw to change the code, and now can run, in my case, with MiniMax. Because it's MiniMax is actually is already a clone of Opus. It's been trained on top of Opus from Opus. Okay, so it's a distillation of Opus. That's the right term. It's a distillation of Opus. So it's really similar to the one that should run inside OpenCode. Sorry, Claude Code. So many names similar.
Yeah, this code is very fresh, so there are popping up some updates regarding some security issues. I was just following roughly on the YouTube, but this is a thing that those two guys did with these two softwares, two tools they have. Oh my codex, and I forgot the Claude.
But have in mind that this is the CLI version. Sorry, CLI version. So you don't have the human interface. Okay, it's just the code that AI can use but it's not built for human. So, all right. So we did, I mean, we covered a lot. Tomorrow there is another call where we can go deeper on the community aspect, again, how to get involved and this, how we're moving towards this multi-agent.
Oh, so you don't have to.
Sorry, say again?
What time is the call tomorrow? Same time?
Same as today, same link, same time.
Okay.
I don't know, Chimo, you have anything to add? Because actually we have a theme tomorrow. We discussed already. I forgot.
We don't have a theme. We discussed having maybe a theme, but we
Okay.
might talk about truth and facts, and it's less about coding tomorrow, it's more about the thinking behind what we want to do.
So different kind of vibe, same people, and yeah. So you are all welcome to join, but because it's more open tomorrow, it's also for people that are not technical. So if you don't know about coding, it's fine because we are not going to talk about coding. We're going to more talk about the philosophy, the human interaction with AI, and that kind of aspect, and the community, of course. So thanks for staying until the end, and looking forward for seeing you tomorrow. Is there anybody who wants to add anything before we close?
I'm just wondering if nobody adds anything. If Michelle, can you stay for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and Andres, can you stay for a minute? I'd like to talk to both of you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it won't be long. It's just a quick intro. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys. This is awesome. This is great.
Thank you very
Nice
much,
talking to you
everyone.
guys.
Good night.
And
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
final. Bye. See
Ciao.
you guys.
Chimo, you can stop recording.